Good afternoon, everyone, and Merry Christmas Eve. I'm McKenna Nobles with Wiregrass Daily News, and thank you for joining us for our 4 p.m. broadcast. And before we get into some headlines, I want to address a mistake that was made actually in our 9 a.m. broadcast. The man charged with murder following a weekend shooting at a Fort Eisenhower home in Georgia is not from Abbeville, Alabama. He is from Abbeville, Louisiana. That is what I had said earlier, that he was from the Abbeville here in Alabama, but I was later found out that that is incorrect, so I just wanted to go ahead and clear that up. And it's already been taken down off our Facebook page and everything else, so we should be all set. So now let's get into our top story. At 12:15 today, a two-car critical accident occurred on 84 West at Bay Springs Road. Emergency services were on scene, and at least 2 patients were transported under trauma alert to the hospital. No other information is available at this time. In state news, a 23-year-old man has been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for his role in the brutal murders of 7 people in 2020. Who you're seeing on your screen is John Michael Legg. He pleaded guilty to multiple counts of capital murder in connection to what became known as the 7 deadly sins. His co-defendant, Frederick Allen Rogers, received a similar sentence earlier this year. On June 4th of 2020, deputies responded to reports of a shooting at a Morgan County residence. When authorities arrived, they found 7 victims. Some of them had been burned in a fire, allegedly set by Legg and Rogers to destroy evidence. The victims include Tammy Muzzy, James Benford, Jeremy Roberts, Roger Jones, William Hodgen, Emily Payne, and a juvenile girl whose name will not be released. Authorities determined that the murder stemmed from a drug dispute and tensions that were fueled by social media. We're going to head over to Florida now with an update from this morning. A 37-year-old woman who went missing in Marianna, who went by the name Vanessa Carthen, who has been missing since Saturday, has been found and is safe. In Holmes County now, we are going to talk about where the county sheriff's office has arrested Latavion Lewis. Lewis, a former FedEx driver, was identified by the company as the driver responsible for undelivered packages. Lewis admitted to HCSO that he was discarding packages at multiple locations rather than returning them to FedEx warehouses because of late delivery hours. The sheriff's office has recovered 44 of those packages so far, which were sent to the Bonifay Post Office for the correct delivery. Now, today's video story is on a local organization that has been helping the community around the holidays for over 20 years. I'm happy to introduce you to Turkeys from Heaven and show you just a fraction of all their hard work.
Thank you to everybody who's donated and everybody who's helped us this year. It's definitely a community effort.
Volunteers of all different ages work together today to help provide Christmas meals to families in need right here in our community. Turkeys from Heaven has been a holiday tradition here in the Wiregrass for over 20 years. Rebecca Marcella, the organization's co-founder, tells me that this idea started out small, but over the years has turned into a major operation.
27 years ago, several people got together wanting to help a family during Christmas, and our friends all were like, we want to do it too. So the next year we did 4, and then it just kept growing, and it's just snowballed through the years. The biggest part is for those of us that are doing it, it teaches us, I think, humility, and also teaches us that there are people right around us. You don't have to go outside of Dothan to do a big mission project. There are people right here that need it.
This year, the organization capped out at 2,000 meals that include turkeys, green bean casserole, cranberry sauce, and rolls. Volunteers are the driving force behind this cause, as they are the ones who come out and help to cook, package, and deliver the meals. Turkeys from Heaven begins preparing for this event months before it arrives because of how many items are needed.
The turkeys and the groceries back in July. So that's already been committed. Now we just have to pay for it.
The meals are paid for with community donations. Their goal this year is $77,000, and as of this morning, Marcella tells me they are still several $1,000s short.
But we are about $20,000 from our goal, and the day of, we've never been that low before. I think with Thanksgiving being close to Christmas, it's just people are kind of behind.
The group will continue collecting donations at Dothan area Piggly Wiggly's until they reach their goal. Turkeys from Heaven also here we go. We are going to go back into some happier state news. Alabama is one of 4 states chosen for a new program that involves family child care providers and state-funded pre-K education. The Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education is part of the Enriching Public Pre-K through inclusion of Family Child Care Initiative. Through this program, Alabama will work with other states to share ideas and learn about pre-K program design, funding, and standards. Participants will also receive expert guidance and tools to help support implementation. Each state can receive a $25,000 grant to support these efforts. And before we go, there's a few things I just kind of want to give you a heads up. So there was the wreck that happened earlier today, but there have also been a slew of other wrecks happening in our area. So if you guys plan on doing any last-minute Christmas shopping or heading out to dinner, please be aware and be safe on the roads. We don't want anyone losing their lives or a loved one right before the holidays. So just be mindful of yourself and others while you're on the road. And then another thing I want to talk about before we get into weather for the evening is on tomorrow we have a 9 a.m. broadcast and our 4 p.m. broadcast as normal. But then the following day on Christmas Day and the Thursday after, there will not be a broadcast at 9 o'clock or at 4 o'clock. So now we're going to check on the weather, what we can expect tonight. So a few clouds may start to roll in and temperatures will be a low of 38 degrees. Pretty chilly, but what else could you expect around this time of year? Now the winds are going to shift from the northeast at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So it's going to shape up to be kind of a crisp and cool evening out. So you better bundle up if you're heading out. Well, that's all for Wiregrass Daily News at 4. I'll see you back here tomorrow at 9 for your morning headlines. Have a great night.